Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this evening's parent webinar. Tonight, we're going to talk about building mental and emotional strengths in kids. It's basically all about raising resilient children. And this term, we will have a parent webinar every Monday evening, so you're welcome to join all of them. And just keep an eye on social media, and we will set all the topics there. But let's come back to raising resilient children. I'm Johan van Lille, and I'm the coordinator of the Kiro Learner Support Unit, or as we call it, the CLSU, and we help all learners in the group that needs extra help. So let's talk about building mental and emotional strength in challenging times. So in this webinar, we're going to explore the significance of nurturing a strong sense of self-worth and self-esteem in children. We're also going to look at healthy coping mechanisms and encourage open communication, the role of parents and caregivers in modeling resilience and creating a supportive environment, and then developing an adaptive response to stress. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the impact of technology on children's mental well-being. And that right at the end, we'll give you time to ask some questions. You're also welcome to ask questions in the Q&A section of this webinar, and we will answer them right at the end. So importance of building mental emotional resilience in kids include things like mental well-being, problem-solving skills, emotional intelligence, growth mindset, and prepares for future success. So if you look at promotes mental well-being, it means building mental and emotional resilience in kids is crucial for promoting their overall mental well-being. Resilience equips children with the ability to cope with challenges, bounce back from setbacks, and adapt to stressful situations. It helps them to develop a positive mindset and reduces the risk of developing mental health issues such as anxiety and depression. It also enhances problem-solving skills. Resilient children are better equipped to handle problems and conflicts effectively, and they develop strong problem-solving skills and are more likely to approach challenges with a solution-oriented mindset. This enables them to navigate through difficult situations, make sound decisions, and find constructive ways to overcome obstacles. It also fosters emotional intelligence. Resilience goes hand in hand with emotional intelligence. When children build emotional resilience, they develop a greater understanding of their own emotions and those of others, and they learn to manage their feelings, express themselves effectively, and build healthier relationships. Emotional intelligence is a valuable life skill that contributes to their personal growth, empathy, and social competence. It encourages growth mindsets. Building resilience in kids cultivates a growth mindset, which is the belief that the abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and practice. Resilient children understand that failure is a natural part of the learning process and see setbacks as opportunities for growth. And they embrace challenges, persevere through difficulties, and maintain a positive attitude towards learning, which ultimately leads to greater success in various aspects of life. It also prepares for future success. Developing mental and emotional resilience in childhood sets the foundation for future success. Resilient individuals are more likely to navigate the ups and downs of life with confidence and optimism, and they are better equipped to handle academic pressure, career challenges, and personal setbacks as they grow older. By building resilience early on, children gain invaluable skills that contribute to their long-term well-being, happiness, and the ability to thrive in an ever-changing world. So, resilience is also a lot about self-talk, and this is a good illustration of how you can develop the right and the correct self-talk and healthy self-talk in learners or in children. Like one, I have resilient adults around me. And how do you develop that positive self-talk? By what you model to your child. If you want self-talk like I'm good at some things and need to work on others, it's literally to help children to find and to celebrate the things they're good at, their strengths. If you would like to develop self-talk like I'm hopeful and positive even when it's tough, then you need to teach your child to be optimistic and thinking to power success. And then if you want your child to say to himself, I can cope with change, then you need to focus on build capacity to be adaptable and flexible. And adaptability and flexibility is something that you also model to your children. So it's how you live your life will give them these skills. And I can practice to achieve my goal. If you would like children to think about that, it's all about the connection to meaning and purpose, which feels the many steps to mastery. And then I have people who help me to shine, and that you kind of focus on resilience is supported by people who mentor, guide, and model. So if we mentor and guide our children, then you will develop this kind of self-talk. And then I can learn from mistakes and solve problems. So modeling, problem solving, and taking actions leads to self-improvement. And these are all built into the quality and the way that you talk to your children. And I am me, and that's enough to be proud of who you are. And that's self-acceptance. And again, it's something that you model to your children. If you are happy with who you are, your children will also see how you model that and will also pick up those skills. Children are often faced with a lot of challenges these days, and I want to talk about a few of them because these are all affecting their mental health as well as how they feel about themselves. Technology and screen time, I know it's a debate that's going on forever, but we always have to come back to it because children in today's world face the challenges of excessive technology use and screen time. The constant exposure to screens can impact their physical health, their mental well-being, and also their social interactions. And it can lead to a very passive lifestyle, decreased face-to-face communication, and potentially addiction to technology. And technology addiction is now a lot in the news where people start talking about it a lot, especially with teens. And then academic pressure. Children today often experience high levels of academic pressure. They face intense competition, demanding schedules, and the need to excel in multiple subjects. And this pressure can lead to stress, anxiety, and a negative impact on their overall well-being. And then cyberbullying and online safety. With the development of social media and online platforms, children face the risk of cyberbullying and online harassment. And this enormity of this online world can make it easier for bullies to target and to harm children, leading to emotional distress, low self-esteem, or even depression. And then our children's mental health issues, and mental health is also issues that we are looking at a lot at the moment. Children are increasingly facing mental health challenges. And people always ask, but why is it now? I think because we are so much more aware of it. We have names to give to these mental health challenges, and I think we're just more aware of it. It's always been there. We're just more aware that children are going through these things because we've learned so much of child development and teenage development over the past few years. Factors such as social expectations, academic stress, family dynamics, and the influence of social media can contribute to anxiety and depression. And family dynamics can really play a big role in anxiety and depression and other mental health disorders. So it's important to always look at the family dynamics when you talk about these things. A lack of awareness and stigma surrounding mental health may further hinder children from seeking help. And I think it's time that we break down the stigma surrounding mental health. And then environmental concerns are also real for children because they are growing up in a world facing significant environmental challenges. They are confronted with issues such as climate change, pollution, and resource depletion. It's very real for them because it is their future, and they worry a lot more about these things than they would actually tell you. So these challenges can evoke feelings of uncertainty, fear for the future, and a sense of responsibility to address and find the solutions to environmental problems. Then there are 4 stresses that I would really like to talk about and that puts children under pressure. It's your academic demands, peer relationships, and then social influences. So if we look at high expectations for academic demands, students face increasingly academic demands and pressure to perform well academically, especially in an independent school. They may experience stress and anxiety due to the need to achieve high grades, meet academic standards, and excel in various subjects. And then the heavy workload. Academic demands often come with a heavy workload, including homework, assignments, projects, and exam preparation. And managing time and balancing multiple responsibilities can really be challenging for learners, especially during the teenage years, because their executive functions are still developing in these years. And for them, time management is something that's only developing when you're kind of in your late primary school, early high school. That's when it starts to develop. Even adults don't manage to master it. So and balancing multiple responsibilities are all things that are still developing in teenagers. So a lot of modeling and showing them how to do it is necessary for it to develop. And then a competitive environment. Learners often find themselves in competitive academic environments where they compare their performance with their peers. So they don't compete against themselves. They only feel that when they compare themselves to others, that they were successful. This can create a sense of pressure and lead to unhealthy competition, or maybe a fear of failure. And we want them to develop rather a growth mindset. If we can get to a growth mindset with teenagers, that's the way to go for the future. So if we talk about peer relationships, peer pressure is bigger than ever. It plays a significant role in your child's life, and your child can really be influenced and developed and even hindered by peer pressure. Children may feel compelled to conform to certain behaviors, attitudes, or trends, especially in early high school when they are in the identity phase, where they still form their identity. And a lot of the identity is determined by their peers, by their friends, and they will do everything to get their approval, even if it go against their own values and beliefs. And again, these open communications with these learners will help them to talk to you about their values and beliefs, because the quality of the conversations you have with them about values and beliefs and peer pressure is what really help them to become mentally strong. And then social exclusion. Some children may face challenges in forming or maintaining positive peer relationships. Here I talk a lot about children with barriers to learning. My own child has been exposed to social exclusion because he's just so much younger than the other children emotionally. And we have lots of conversations about how to maintain positive peer relationship and how to handle social exclusion, bullying, or even a difficulty in finding a sense of belonging within their peer group, which can lead to feelings of isolation or low self-esteem. And these things all come down to talking about it, good open communication, not to be judgmental, not to be part of their world, but to listen with empathy and to share your ideas and what you think, and also to admit that you might not have the answer, but together we can talk about it. And then friendship dynamics. Navigating friendships can really be complex for children. I think it becomes more and more complex as in the last few years, especially with social media, because children spend so much more time together. It's not only in physical, but online they also spend a lot of time together, and they may face lots of challenges when it comes to conflicts, and especially peer jealousy, and then social dynamics and the pressure to fit into certain social groups. And these challenges can impact their emotional well-being and sense of belonging. And then the influence of society. Here we talk a lot about the media influence because of the various forms of media that they are exposed to. These influences can shape their perception of beauty, of their bodies, of success, what is the norms of society, and it can really sometimes lead to unrealistic expectations or negative body image. And then cultural expectations. Cultural expectation can have a big impact on children's lives, and because these expectations may include like traditional gender roles, academic or career paths, or pressure to conform to certain social norms and standards. And then technology advancements, like the rapid technology advancements, as we already discussed, have shaped the way children interact and learn and engage with the world. So it's a lot more complex because they have to manage a social media profile. One mistake will stick with you for life, and that can have a big impact on their mental health and also their mental toughness. I think what we need is a need for proactive support from you as parents. It's important to really understand what proactive support means. I always say the best way to deal with a tantrum is to prevent it. So that is what proactive support is to try and prevent most of these challenges for the learners the best way you can. So proactive support involves anticipating and addressing the needs of children before they encounter difficulties or challenges. And it all boils down to really know your child, to really be available to your child, not only for 10 minutes a day, to really make time in the day to anticipate and to address and to understand and to know the needs of your child, because it emphasizes that prevention is much better than to react to something. So by providing proactive support, adults can help children develop necessary skills and coping mechanisms to navigate through life's ups and downs more effectively. We need to think a lot about coping mechanisms because coping mechanisms help you to survive. But if you don't really help children to work through these coping mechanisms later in life, these coping mechanisms can then become liabilities. So if you cope with conflict by withdrawal, now you are in a conflict situation with your future spouse or partner, and then you're also going to withdraw. Then your coping mechanism that you've learned from a young age became became a liability later in life. So it's very important to talk to your children and to be aware and to really look at how do they cope with everyday life challenges, and then try to talk through them with these mechanisms so that they can also be resolved. Proactive support promotes early intervention, which can prevent the escalation of problems and improve outcomes for children. To be honest, children will always surprise you because you can't really predict everything. But if you are available to your child emotionally, you give them time, you can really make a big difference if you really try to do this. And then it also helps to build resilience in children by equipping them with the tools and the strategies to handle adversity. And it fosters a sense of empowerment, self-efficacy, and the belief that they can overcome challenges, leading to improved mental well-being and overall development. So let's look at a few examples of proactive support. And these are things that you can really put in place in your house, like building a routine. Establishing a consistent daily routine can provide children with a sense of structure and predictability. We would really like children to, because they feel safe with a sense of structure and predictability. This proactive approach helps them anticipate what comes next, reduces anxiety and or resistance when transitioning between activities. And then another way of utilizing proactive support is preparing them from transitions. Anticipating transitions between different environments or activities can be challenging for some children. So for instance, if you go and visit friends or you're going to a birthday party, proactive support involves preparing them ahead of time, discussing what to expect, and provide strategies to manage any potential difficulties or anxieties associated with the transition. So if they have social anxiety, they are shy, talk through it, show them pictures, make them kind of, because we want to give them control. So the more they know about the situation, the easier it is for them to navigate through it. So that is an example of proactive support. And then Also developing coping skills with them, proactive teaching children coping skills empowers them to handle stress and challenges effectively. So this includes like practice deep breathing exercises for when they need it, teach them techniques for self-calming, or providing tools such as sensory objects or calm activities so that they have it in their kitty of skills when they need it. And then regular check-ins with your child and open communication, proactively checking in with your child, regularly communicating with them, not only during the school holidays or weekends. Make a date with your child to always check in, and they also check in with you, so that you can hear about their experiences, their concerns, their successes, help them really help them with to identify their potential, but also to hear about issues that they're facing. And this can be done through one-on-one conversations, or in a class, or even in family meetings, or using tools like journals or communication apps. There are really a lot of things that you can use to do this. So parents play a big role in modeling resilience to children. So parents and caregivers serve as a primary role model for children. And modeling resilience involves showing children how to manage stress. So when you are stressed, you need to model it to them how to properly and constructively manage stress. How do you overcome obstacles? And also, how do you maintain a positive mindset? Share it with them, because how are they going to learn this from anyone? And then parents and caregivers also teach resilience skills directly by providing guidance, encouragement, and teaching problem-solving techniques. If you Google problem-solving techniques, you will find a gazillion ideas that you can use in difficult situations, and they can really help children identify their strengths, set realistic goals, and develop strategies to overcome difficulties. So modeling resilience includes promoting self-care and well-being by prioritizing their own mental health and practicing self-care. Parents and caregivers demonstrate the importance of self-compassion and self-care for building resilience. So parents can model self in various ways, and here are a few examples. So demonstrating problem-solving skills, parents can openly share their own challenges and setbacks with their children and discuss how they approach problem solving. By involving children in brainstorming solutions and emphasizing the importance of perseverance and flexibility, parents can model resilience. And then I can't stress this one enough. You need to practice self-care. As we all know, when you take a flight, they always say put on your mask first before you help anyone else. So you need to prioritize your own self-care, your own well-being, and then demonstrating to your children the importance in this way of taking care of oneself. If you never take care of yourself, your child will see that it's not important, and then they will not take care of themselves. So this can include really how do you set boundaries? And you can set your boundaries with your children so that they know this is how you take care of yourself. Engaging in activities that you enjoy, practicing stress management techniques, and children observe and learn from these actions, and internalizing the value of self-resilience. And then embracing failure as a learning opportunity. I don't think we make enough of that, because usually we see failure as fatal. Failure is what a growth mindset failure is just you haven't developed it yet. You're not there yet. And when parents encounter failures or setbacks, they can openly discuss their experiences with their children. And then you can then share how you learned from your mistakes, adapted your approach, and used experience to grow and improve. Remember, if you can develop a growth mindset in your child, they will be lifelong learners, and they will keep on developing, because this helps children to see that failures is part of the learning process, and it encourages them to develop a growth mindset. Seeking support and expressing emotions, parents can demonstrate resilience by reaching out for support when needed and expressing their emotions in healthy ways. By role modeling the importance of seeking help, talking about emotions, and utilizing support systems, parents show children that resilience is not about going through challenges alone, but having the courage to seek assistance and express feelings. And naming feelings is very important for children. So to help them to name a feeling like jealousy, fear, anger, all those things, that's a big skill that you can transfer onto your kids. And then maintaining optimism and positive outlook, parents can model optimism and a positive attitude even in the face of adversity. By focusing on solutions, maintaining a hopeful mindset, and highlighting the silver linings in difficult situations, using sometimes humor, parents can teach children the power of resilience and optimism. So nurturing self-worth and self-esteem is also very important for our children. And self-worth is the belief in one's own inherent value and worthiness. Fostering a strong sense of self-worth in children is crucial for their overall well-being and development. So encouraging children to embrace their strengths, their talents, and their unique qualities help build a positive self-perception and a strong sense of self-worth. We all are born with talents. And if you use those talents, they become strengths. And research has shown that if you play to your strengths in your work and whatever you do in your relationship, you will always be successful and you will have a much better outcome. So providing opportunities for children to engage in activities that they enjoy and excel in can boost their self-confidence and reinforce their belief in their abilities. And when they face challenges or they fail, and you bring in the growth mindset of you're not there yet. It's an opportunity for growth. And then praising children's efforts, achievements, and positive character traits and their strengths, rather than solely focusing on external validation, such as the grades or feedback or winning, helps to cultivate an internal sense of worth and value. Now, going to self-esteem, a self-esteem is a person's overall evaluation of their own worth and competence. So promoting self-esteem in children is essential for their emotional well-being and resilience. So encouraging a growth mindset, emphasizing that mistakes are opportunities for learning and growth, helps children develop a positive self-perception and fosters a sense of competency. So providing constructive feedback and guidance that focuses on effort, progress, and improvement rather than just outcomes or achievements can boost self-esteem. It helps children recognize their abilities and the value of their hard work. And then engaging children in activities that align with their interests and passion promotes a sense of mastery, competence, and self-confidence. Celebrating their accomplishments and acknowledging their strengths further enhances their self-esteem. So the aim is to build a self-image and a positive self-image. So a positive self-image refers to the way individuals perceive and value themselves. Building a positive self-image in children contributes to their self-acceptance, self-compassion, and their overall well-being. Encouraging positive self-talk and helping children to develop a healthy internal dialogue fosters a positive self-image. Teaching them to challenge negative thoughts or self-criticism and replace them with affirming and empowering statements can have a profound impact on children. So promoting a balanced view of self by acknowledging strengths and weaknesses helps children develop a realistic and healthy self-image. We always focus a lot on what we can do well, which is our strengths, and our weaknesses we try to overcome with our strengths. We don't always want to improve our weaknesses. We would rather manage our weaknesses through our strengths. So if you are not good with the relationships, but you have a strength of having strong connections with people, then you will manage your relationships with your strong connections. So it teaches you that you are not, no one is perfect, but that's okay to have areas for growth, and you can use your strengths to improve that. So we're back to healthy coping mechanisms. So we want children to really have healthy coping strategies. So a healthy coping strategy is one that you can really utilize for your whole life. But if you use it to to kind of disappear or not to be visible or to hide, then it becomes a liability. So healthy coping strategies are essential for children to manage stress, to handle challenges, and to promote their overall well-being. So again, open communication and then active listening skills provide children with a safe space. Active listening skills are when you signal to your child that you're really listening. If a child tells you, "Oh, I'm so scared of the dark," active listening would be, "I can hear that you say you are scared of the dark. Do you want to tell me more?" And if they say, "I can see things move," then you would say, I hear what you say, that you can see things move. Can you tell me more?" So you repeat to them so that you can really signal to them that you are actively listen to what they say. You can even recognize the emotions. "I can hear in your voice that you are scared of the dark. Can you tell me more about that?" Or, "I can hear that you are concerned." So that will develop healthy coping mechanisms and problem solving skills, because they will then feel that whatever they say is important to you because you actively listen to them. Teaching children relaxation skills are very important, as we said before, and also encourage physical activities, and exercise is a good way for children to cope with difficult situations. So encourage resilience in the face of challenges. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity and overcome challenges. Encouraging resilience in children helps them to develop a positive mindset and navigate difficulties effectively. So that's your ultimate goal when you talk to your child. So again, it comes back to a growth mindset, to look at setbacks and failures of not there yet. And then encourage and empower them with problem solving skills. And I would really encourage you to go and Google problem solving skills. You'll find amazing techniques that you can teach to your teen especially. And then developing adaptive responses to stress is important. Stress is a normal part of your life. Teaching children adaptive responses can help them cope effectively. Teach children the importance of self-care activities, as we said, and teach children to identify and challenge negative thoughts or beliefs. And this again comes back to open communication. And open communication for me is one of the aims of every parent. The more open you can get the communication, the better, because open and honest communication fosters trust, understanding, and healthy relationships between children and adults. It allows children to express their thoughts, their feelings, and concerns, and leading to better emotional well-being and a sense of validation. Open communication helps children to develop effective problem-solving skills and learn how to express themselves assertively and respectfully. And it promotes transparency, reduces misunderstanding, and strengthens family or caregiver-child bonds. So how do you create a safe space for children to express themselves? Creating a safe space involves providing an environment where children feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and emotions without fear of judgment, of negative consequences. How do you react to what they are telling you is most important. That's why active listening skills are so important. If you react with judgment, negative consequences, and you kind of scare the hell out of them, it's going to jeopardize open communication. Open communication is where you signal that you are really listening without judgment, and you are really trying to understand the situation they are in. So actively listen to children without interrupting them, dismissing what they are saying, or trivializing their feelings or experiences. To say, when the child say, "I'm scared of the dark," say, "You're a big boy now. Why are you scared of the dark?" Those are trivializing their feelings. Rather acknowledge their feelings and then talk about how you can deal with it. Show empathy, validate their emotions. So tell them it's okay to be scared. So what can we do about being scared? It's okay to be angry. What do I do with that? What caused it? Those kind of things are more constructive and active communication with your kids. Encourage open-ended questions and invite children to share their perspectives, their opinions, and their concerns. And do not ridiculize and their opinions and their concerns. They haven't been on Earth that long, so rather acknowledge that they have an opinion, acknowledge their concerns, and then talk about it and try to learn what is the thinking behind it. And then always privacy and confidentiality when children disclose sensitive information to you, respect their boundaries and building their trust. Because if they have that trust relationship with you, one day when they are in their own relationship with a partner, then that trust will then be developed, and which they will need at that point. So building your trust and connection is so important. It's crucial for healthy relationships and effective communication with children. Be consistent in your words and actions, follow through on commitments, and be reliable. This helps children feel secure and trust that they can depend on you, and show unconditional love and support even when children make mistakes or face challenges. This builds a strong foundation of trust and strengthens the connections between adults and children. And respect children's boundaries, opinions, and autonomy. Involve them in age-appropriate decision-making processes. And I want to stretch this age-appropriate decision-making processes. Do not involve them with things that are above their age. It will just cause a lot of stress. Give them a sense of ownership and fostering trust, but always keep it age appropriate. So there are lots of practical strategies and techniques that you can do, and I want to quickly discuss some of them. The one is fostering a growth mindset. I talked a lot about growth mindset, and that's all about praise, effort, perseverance, and the process of learning rather than solely focusing on the outcomes or achievements. You can also talk about your child's brain, the teenage brain, a lot of neuroplasticity there, explaining that their brains can develop and grow through practice and effort all their life. So lifelong learning is an important concept for children. And also help to reframe failures or setbacks as learning experiences and encourage them and show them how to bounce back and just try again. And then teaching problem-solving skills, very important, and we referred a lot to that already. And then promoting emotional regulation. Emotional regulation are how you handle different emotions, the triggers, and healthy ways to express and manage them. So if a child loses their cool, what was the trigger? How did you feel? And how do you regulate yourself? What do you do when you lose your cool, or when you get angry, when you lose your temper? Because those are normal people behavior. It's how do you manage it that makes a big difference. So help children to identify their own emotional state by encouraging them to label their emotions and express how they feel. Usually when children throw a tantrum, it's because they are so frustrated and they don't know how to express how they feel. So give them the words. In a child, you will say, I can see that you're frustrated. I can see that you are bored. I can see that you are not tired. And that's how you help them to name and label their feelings so that their cognitive part of their brain can work with that. Help them with their breathing exercises. Mindfulness is a wonderful thing with children. You can really, and then help children to identify and to engage in activities that they enjoy. So it's important always to help children to build a strong support network, and how to foster connections, how to develop friendships. We always think that children know how to do it. A lot of kids need to learn that. So what is friendship? How do you maintain a friendship? Even adults don't know how to do it. So have these open, wonderful conversations with your child about the quality of friendships. What is your role in the friendship? What do you need to do to maintain this friendship, and to bring what do you need to bring to this friendship to make it work? And then also involve your children in many activities, and then communicate openly with your children. And then lastly, and I'm nearly done, I want to talk about technology and social media. And this is just quick. Expressive screen time and digital device use can really contribute to a passive lifestyle, and it really may negatively impact physical and mental health. Technology is here to stay, so you can't really take it out of your child's life, but you can manage it with your child. And for me, constant connectivity and digital distractions can really disrupt sleep patterns, especially in teenagers. And remember, teenagers need more sleep than other children. So it's important that you will monitor, take the phone out of the room in the evening so that you know that they have good quality sleep. Do not send your teenager with their phone to their room. They can do that later in life. And then have an open relationship with your child with cyberbullying and online harassment. Check in with your child. Usually they do not want to talk about this. So you need to create an environment where you are not, sometimes they just want to tell you with that certainty you're not going to act on it. So rather try then to help them to manage it as far as you can. And if you have no other choice, then you can report it and order. But sometimes they just want to tell you first, and do not want to have a big reaction. They just want to express their emotional distress, their anxiety, and even their depression, and then you work from the inside out. But you have to limit face-to-face social interactions and expressive screen time as far as you can. And give them clear guidelines. Limit screen time. You've got many apps that can help you with that. Explain to them why you need regular breaks from screen. Even adults need it. So help them to understand it and to manage it. Create tech-free zones or designated times in the home, such as during meals or before bedtime, to promote quality family time. Talk about that and enhance offline interactions. When there's a big, when children are really screaming about screen time, then you must know it was too much. They got used to too much screen time. And then establish consistent rules and expectations around device usage, including age-appropriate content restrictions. I know it's difficult to get games that are age appropriate, but go and find them. These games, there's a reason why there's a age restriction on these games. And then have a big balance between online activities and offline activities, and have a variety of online and offline activities. Mindfulness helps a lot with when your child is really addicted to the screen. So promote mindfulness, encourage children to explore offline social interactions and build meaningful relationships through face-to-face communication, empathy, and active listening. That's all I have to say. Are there any questions? I'm going to end the show now so that I can see all the questions. I'm going to go through that now. Otherwise, you are welcome to leave, and thank you for attending this. Remember, next Monday evening we have another one, so you're welcome to join us again at 6 o'clock every Monday evening at 6 o'clock, and we will have different people attending and presenting these, and some of them will even be interviews. So thank you, everyone. That's then it for tonight. I hope you have a wonderful evening.